I'm going to start with the obvious, giving up 146 points tonight. What did you see out there?
Their basketball is going in the rim a lot. That's about all I got for you.
What was the talk of the locker room afterwards?
Be better. Everybody in the locker room, none of us had the right energy from the get-go, so got to find a way to be better.
12 games left. You have pretty much your entire 12 games left. You have pretty much your entire roster healthy, but you are coming off one of the worst losses of the season. So kind of what's the view between now and the start of the playoffs?
Played much better than we did tonight. We know when we played, the way we're supposed to, we have a chance to beat anybody. But, we're still, we haven't played that many games as a full unit. So we still got to learn the chemistry, timing of everything. So it should be fun.
What balance, if there even is a balance, do you think this team can strike between being patient with itself and giving itself grace as you guys work through these kinks versus the realization of there are only 12 regular season games left, and to give you guys that time to build that chemistry or continuity?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is we have 12 games left till the playoffs, and it's not like we can add a couple games to continue to try to, piece all of that together. So we got to figure it out in a quick span of time to when the playoffs is here to hit the ground running. So, I believe we can do it. We've shown in instances where we have done it. Just got to, continue plugging at it.
Are there ways that, you're probably not going to practice a lot, maybe not as many sure. I know you guys have, but there are ways you guys can fast track that, considering there are only so many games and not a lot of practice time?
Talk to one another. That's really, we can watch as much film as we want to watch to help that way. But I think communication amongst, everybody on the team, coaching staff is going to play a big role in that. Like you said, we're not going to be on court practicing that much with 12 games left. So we had to communicate if it's, on flights, talking about, what we can do to be better. That's what it'll be. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
What was the thing you thought stood out the most tonight?
Well, our defense. You give up 50-some, whatever it was, 44 points in the paint. Our turnovers killed us all night, which led to them getting shots in transition. Thought we did a poor job contesting. Again, they were 5 for 22 at the half from 3, and I think they were 14 for, my math is not good right now, but 14 for 19 in the second half, and Buzelis hit a bunch of those, and you're willing to live with a couple, and then we turned off some of the shift notices, and then the contests weren't great. You can certainly get into the technicality of it, and you can certainly get into the turnovers for us offensively and how that kind of destroyed our rhythm, but the disposition and the mentality, I don't know if we assumed because we had everybody back that it was just going to be like it was 3 weeks ago, and that's just not the way this works. I think the guys know that, and I'm not saying that's what they assumed. You'll have to ask them that. The thing that we have talked about all season long, though, is grace, and so the group inherently gets some grace for what this last 3 weeks has looked like, and it's not an excuse. It's just the nature of where a group felt very connected, and then you lose some games on the road, you have some injuries, all that stuff. You got to get reconnected, and that's where our group will get there. We, however, don't have a lot of time to do that, and it's got to be now. It can't be in a week. It can't be in 2 weeks. It's got to be now. It's got to be Monday morning in our film session and our walkthrough for Orlando. So again, I give the group. I love my team. I love those guys. That was the worst our defense has looked, frankly, maybe all year, but certainly in the last 3 months.
To follow up on one of the things you said with LeBron and Ruby coming back, you think there can be a collective almost, okay, that this is going to be good now, this is going to be settled, and maybe you lose some of that, not the edge, but just that. Is that natural? Can you feel that once the game starts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the word that we've used a lot is edge, and you gotta play with an edge. And I told them this just now, and I don't think this is like a secret, so I'm comfortable sharing this. But our success this season since January has been based on our defensive disposition and our ability to defend as a team, and our individual pride on the ball, and our individual pride in doing your job with whatever it may require, a low man, a box out, a gang rebound, whatever it may require. That's going to determine our success for the next 3 weeks, and that's going to determine our success if we are able to secure a postseason berth.
With Rui missing almost 4 weeks and LeBron missing 2, whenever they got back, and you acknowledged that there just wasn't any
both
space.
those guys were out of rhythm and out of sorts.
Right, so you knew whenever that was going to happen, like there'd probably be some adjustment period. Is it better to almost have it happen, and obviously you should have your team's attention now after, everyone should recognize like we're kind of building from ground zero here, and
I think that's a good way to look at it. The ground zero part. I think you have to again use the reference points that we've had, but then you have to this next 12 games you've got to refine your way. It's a perpetually flowing river that we've all of a sudden run into a beaver's work. We've run into a beaver's work, and we gotta ready to get the water flowing again.
In the paint, plus 18 on the fast break. LA 21 turnovers for 27 Chicago points, and big game Kobe White continued his strong stretch. 28 over his last 10. He had 36 tonight.
Yeah, they caught a team on fire, and a team that's still trying to get into the playoffs. And I think the letdown probably was subconscious one, was getting everybody back. After having everybody out, then getting LeBron back, and you got Luka, you got everybody back. It's an automatic letdown subconsciously if you don't catch yourself. And that's what I saw, because this is not what I've been seeing, especially on the defensive end of late, a team that just came in and set the pace early, led by Kobe.